All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. Almost messed up and said Tuesday, but, it's not Tuesday since there were games on Tuesday because of all the COVID stuff. And, sometimes you have to delay your picks video by about a day because, sometimes there's Tuesday games out of nowhere. So this is a tentative Week 16 schedule. So, things could be moved, things could be changed. So we'll see. Hopefully it stays true. There are a couple games I've kind of like asterisked for like if it might be different if so and so doesn't play. So keep that in mind for Week 16. But for the most part, my picks are going to stay the same like they did last week. We did pretty good last week. We went 11-5 total. So not the best week, but not the worst week. So that's pretty good. That brings us to 137, 86-1. Good for 61.4%, which is still pretty bad, but it's improving from where I thought I was going to end up this season, which I thought I was barreling down on 100 losses well before this part of the season. So I'm glad to see a slight improvement. So let's hope Week 16 wields some positive results. There's no more bye weeks, so we don't have to worry about that. No teams are not playing. So as of now, no teams aren't playing. So we got games on Christmas too, so that's cool. Saturday will be Christmas Day game, so that'll be fun. And let's jump right into Thursday Night Football, which should be a good one, I think. Actually, pretty good one, actually. Both these teams have big playoff implications, big playoff situations on the line, especially for a team like the Titans, who, if they were to lose and say the Colts were to win this weekend, the Titans and Colts are all of a sudden kind of in this weird tie position for the division where it comes down to tiebreakers. If not, some team just outright takes the division. So that becomes a must-win for Tennessee, and for the 49ers, they kind of have to keep winning to stay alive inside of the NFC wildcard playoff race. So. And maybe the Cardinals and the Rams trip up and all of a sudden the 49ers are standing tall with a 10-6 record just like the Cardinals and Rams. You never know. But this is the 49ers versus the Titans. 49ers are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. I know the Titans are supposed to be getting A.J. Brown back this weekend, and that should give them quite the bump up. Tomorrow they should be getting him back, not this weekend. It would be pretty irrelevant if they got him back on Saturday. It'd be like, well, good for us. We have him next week. But it should be this week. I've been seeing reports that he could be back. He should be back. So that could help them out quite a bit on an offense that's been struggling to score. And basically that's been their Achilles heel, right? They've been turning the ball over with the running back situation. Without Derrick Henry, their offense has sputtered quite a bit. They're not as scoring. They're not as explosive. There's this sort of it's easier to deal with Ryan Tannehill when he doesn't have that danger threat as a running back. And even with A.J. Brown coming back, you have to wonder, all right, now they can kind of just double up him and, now what? Now they have a little bit more to work with, which is why I'm giving them the more score. But they are playing a team that does kind of win games based on its defense. They run the ball well. They can kind of utilize guys like Deebo Samuel quite well, and I think he should be playing. And one of the things with the 49ers, when they're playing well, they're an incredibly hard team to beat. And I know that's a broad statement, but it's kind of like a duh. Every team that's playing well is hard to beat. But when the 49ers are Jimmy G's playing well, the running game's working well, and their defense is playing well, they're they're an actual top team in the NFL. For whatever reason, it's these things all have to be specific, and then they become a top 5 team. And for the last few weeks, this 49ers team seems to have found their defense. They found a running game, and Jimmy G seems to have found a bit of confidence lying around in the locker room somewhere. And that's kind of why the 49ers are suddenly looking like a force to be reckoned with late in this season, whereas the Titans have kind of cooled off due to the fact they've lost Henry, and defense is getting a little tired because they're kind of having to shoulder the load. I like the 49ers to win this game. By the way, the lines from FanDuel, I just include them on there for people who like to know what they are. They don't really factor into my decision on who wins the game, so I didn't even know the 49ers were favorites until I looked up the lines. So it's it's for your own good. Gamble responsibly, use other sources as well, yada, yada, yada. All right, let's go to Saturday football. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate the holiday. At 4:30, which is the game we'll be covering the Saturday night football, or Thursday night as well. By the way, there's a few bad games that won't get much coverage from me personally, or as in depth of my thoughts on why I picked the team. as like the Titans and 49ers. There's some bad ones this week, so we'll blow through those in like seconds. All right, we have the Cleveland Browns playing the Green Bay Packers. Packers are 7-point favorites with an over-under of 44. I like the Packers in this one simply because, like, even if the Browns are slightly more healthy and they're more ready to go, they just played a game on Tuesday. Like, they literally just played last night. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, they might be competitive in this game, but how well rested are they going to be? How many of their guys are they actually going to have back? How prepared is everybody going to be for a team like the Packers, who are very good, and they've been off since Sunday getting ready for this game? So they're going to be more prepared, better coached. They're a better team, the Packers are, this year. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, could the Browns get an upset? Maybe. If it was in Cleveland, this could be one of those games where it's like, oh shit, the Packers got upset. But but it's like, it's at home, short week for the Browns. Again, I don't have much analysis. This would be a much better game if it wasn't on Christmas Day. The Browns kind of, they got helped out in that game being delayed, but it kind of screwed them for the following week. So I'll move on to the next one. I don't really have much to say. This is one of the best games of the weekend, I would actually argue. This is one of my few upsets I have this week. I guess I have a couple. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard. It'll be the Christmas night game. It'll be the Colts playing the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites at the time of recording, with an over-under of 49.5. I have the Colts winning this game. It should be really good. I'm actually surprised I have the Colts winning. I thought I might have flipped this game around, but nope, I'm sticking with the Colts in this one. There are a few reasons why. It seemed like the Lions and the teams that have been able to do damage to this team, which are very far and few in between, but the way that the Lions seem to be able to move the ball on this Cardinals team is via the run game, with that Craig Reynolds kid going for like 120 yards almost out of nowhere. So one of the things I noticed that means is a big offensive physical line like the Lions have is something the Colts do have as well. So you can kind of translate, all right, the Cardinals had trouble with that team's running game. Here comes a team that is primarily powered by who a lot of people think should be the league's MVP. Very little argument here, but it seems like that's just the quarterback award, and I feel bad for Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and a number of other running backs that probably should have won the award, but is what it is, right? And there's just something weird about the Cardinals. They're not very good the last few games. They've been trending downwards. Their offense looks off. Like, I don't know, but then you look at the Colts. They're one of the hottest teams in football. They've been winning games. They've been, ever since they've gotten healthier and healthier and healthier as the season's gone on, they were getting better and better and better. And that's something, it's like, well, this team is actually very good. We all 2 years ago thought this was a Super Bowl contending team with Andrew Luck, and now that they have like everything kind of figured back out on offense, they're kind of starting to look like, all right, this is a very good team. They are not to be taken lightly, and maybe the reason the Cardinals didn't play that game the best last week is they were looking ahead to this week. But I don't know. Like, usually in one of those games, the team catches themselves. Like the Cardinals would have caught themselves versus the Lions and either came back and won or made it a lot closer. The Cardinals just looked dead in that game. I don't even know what happened to Arizona. And it certainly wasn't the team that we've all seen at the start of the season. It looks like there's a bit of fatigue issues coming in, which is one of my early season predictions with the Cardinals. I wondered, I think they're going to start out very good like last year, but I wonder how they finish due to stamina, teams kind of figuring out how to beat them. There's just a few questions I have, and I also don't really like I look at the coaching matchup because these two teams are kind of evenish. Then you can look to the coaching, and I'm going to give it to the Colts by a mile. So I don't know. This just feels like a game the Colts are going to win, and then the major questions start about the Cardinals here. I don't know. I feel good about that pick. I feel like a lot of people are going to be picking the Colts, though, so I feel like I'm not in a minority on this one. And here's an example of a game that I don't really have a whole lot to say about. The Giants are taking on the Eagles. The Eagles are 10-point favorites with an over-under of 41.5. Without Daniel Jones and Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon, are those when Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm are your options at quarterback, you're not going to win a lot of games. You're not going to win against the team like the Eagles, who are playing very good football. Like, this Eagles team has actually got a lot to play for this week, so they're going to be playing like at an unreal level at home versus a division rival. So there's all these levels of added pressure on it. But I do think the fact that the Giants have Jake Fromm or Mike Glennon to throw at the Eagles really just, I don't know what the Giants are going to do in this one. Give me the Eagles easily. Rams-Vikings will probably be a better game than people think it'll be, because the Vikings are a bit better of a team than people think they are. They're just not good at like holding leads or like not letting people score toward the end of halves or end of games. If they were, they'd be like a 13-1 team or a 12-2 team. It's unnatural how good this team is until like the closing minutes of a half or game, like, and then they just completely fall apart. But they're playing the Rams. They're the home team. The Rams are favored by 3 points with an over-under of 49.5. Unless Stafford reverts back to being like a Lions level quarterback and the Rams kind of revert to a team that's like a Lions team on crack or so, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really see the Rams losing this one. Do I think the Vikings make it a game? Yeah, I think so. I think the Vikings actually could lead for a large part of this game and then collapse late. I think that's actually how it's going to go. Believe it or not, I think the Vikings get out to a big lead and kind of like start. It's one of those things where they can get out to what seems to be like a 21-0 lead really quickly. Like, they score, they get the ball back, and like either by a turnover or like just a quick 3 and out, they score again, this very similar score again, and even maybe hit a field goal to make it like 24-0. And then I feel like they're like a collapse team. Like then all of a sudden one team scores a touchdown, the Vikings go 3 and out, they score a touchdown, the Vikings go all the way down and like miss a field goal, and then they like the other team drives down. I'm basically describing what I think is going to happen here. It's just going to be a slow game of attrition where the Vikings have a huge lead and then the Rams chisel it away and lose it late. It feels like that's been the story of the Vikings season, and like that's kind of how the Stafford's good at. He's good at chiseling large leads. He's a good comeback artist. Rams are just a better roster than the Vikings right now. They're a better team. Vikings will make it close, though. I don't see it as a blowout in any capacity. Here's my game of the weekend that I'm most excited for. It's the Buffalo Bills taking on the New England Patriots. This could be for the division, I believe, or at least it could put the division pretty much in the hands of the New England Patriots. It gives them the ultimate tiebreaker over the Buffalo Bills, and I do think it actually would clinch the division. Let me do some quick math. If the Patriots get to 10-5, no, I think because the Patriots didn't win last weekend. I guess I'll have to wait and see what the clinching scenarios are. I would have to do way too much math for this video. Anyway, let's talk about this game. Patriots they're the home favorites, of course, so 2.5-point favorites over under 43.5. I like the Patriots to win this game. I don't know what happened against the Colts. I think they just played an untraditionally bad game of football. The Colts just kind of bossed them up and made them look like shit, and the Patriots did not respond in kind until the last, 20 minutes of the game, including the third quarter. So literally the last 20 minutes of the game, they were kind of dead till that point. Hopefully they come out with a little bit more life, and I think they will have a much better week of practice, look a lot better, play a lot better. Hopefully, anyway. It's going to be a tough game. The Bills are going to come in angry with the way that they lost that first game, the fact that they were not able to pull that off despite only being thrown against 3 times. There's going to be some anger in that. I wonder if the Patriots can take advantage of a team playing on a bit of emotions and a little bit more aggressive than they probably should be to get back at an embarrassing loss. I also wonder if the Bills are going to be, one of the things I think is the big key in this game is I wonder how the Bills respond to a Patriots team that might have the ability to throw the ball a little bit more freely against a team that they have tape of Mac throwing and what the Patriots look like throwing, but they actually really haven't experienced it. They don't know what it looks like, what the live, like what everything looks like live, because they only seen the run. So while I think the Bills will be well prepared for the run and be like daring them to throw it, I think the Patriots will actually have some success in throwing the ball due to the fact that the Bills haven't seen it. It gives the Patriots this weird little advantage over the Bills, and like they have a strategic advantage, whereas we've seen what the Bills can do. We've seen their running and we've seen them throw it. We'll see more of their ability to throw because it'll probably be less crazy weather conditions like it was against the Bills last weekend, against them on that Monday night. Yeah, I just think the Patriots have a better coaching situation. The run game is good. I think the Patriots will take advantage of a run game that seems to be beatable at times, especially against teams that run the ball very, very well like the Patriots seem to do. And I also think that being able to throw the ball, add in the throw here, because they didn't utilize it at all last game, that gives them that small advantage as well. Yeah, I like it. Plus, the Patriots aren't the Bucs. And they're not going to just let Josh Allen run around and tie the game up with his legs. We're not going to let him beat it. We know he can run. I mean, he's going to get good runs, but he's not going to win on his legs. So give me the Patriots in a very, very good close game, 27-21. All right, Bucs versus Panthers. I don't really think the Panthers have a shot at winning this game, So give me the Buccaneers in a Brady revenge game for looking like dog shit. I actually sort of feel bad for the Panthers in this game because it's one of those games where it's like, boy, how would you like to be the first team Tom Brady plays after getting shut out for the first time in 256 starts, or 254 or whatever the number is. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that team. Good luck, Carolina. I hope you're ready to play some really good defense because you're going to need it. This could be the first half score, and then the Bucs just don't do anything else. Bucs are 11-point favorites with an over-under of 44. Give me there's not much to discuss here. I'm pretty sure Bucs roll the Panthers here. It could be ugly. Who gives a shit about this game? Jaguars play the Jets. Jets are at home, so they're favored by 2.5. The two worst teams in the league outside of the Texans, really. I think the Jets are a slightly better team, so give me them. Here's my upset of the weekend, I guess you could call it, but it does have an asterisk, and I'll explain that right now. If Jared Goff plays in this game, I have the Lions winning a very good close game late. If Jared Goff doesn't play, it'll be the Falcons. I'll revisit this pick on Saturday, and I'll make everything official. But here's how basically what I think is, like I said with the Falcons last week, and I'll say it again, there's a way you can beat the Falcons, and the way you beat the Atlanta Falcons this is a very quick breakdown. Trust me, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here. If you're a one-dimensional offense, the Falcons can probably beat you. But with Jared Goff, the Lions are semi-two-dimensional. Like they have the semblance of a passing, the remnants or the appearance of a passing game, and they can run the ball. So they have two things going for them. Now you look at the Falcons and you're like, all right, that kind of trips up their defense a little bit. Now you go look at the Falcons offensively. They have a bad offensive line. Lions, surprisingly, have a somewhat decent defensive front, and that helps out their defensive secondary. Like they're a decent little defense, and I think that can be that's enough defense to kind of shut the Falcons offensively down. Again, they need Jared Goff for this all to work, so that's why this is an asterisk, and we will revisit it, but that's why I think the Lions get the upset. I think because of the fact that the Lions can kind of pass the ball and they can run the ball fairly well, they kind of complicate up the Falcons' very limited defense, who can kind of play the run pretty well, but they're not that great against the pass. Or if they're good against the pass that day, they can't play the run at all. It's a very odd thing with them. And then when you look at their offensive woes, it all comes from offensive line. Lions are pretty good at getting after the quarterback. Ergo, feels like an upset in the making. Plus, the Lions should have a better record than 2-11. Let's be very honest. Anyway, another bad game. See what I mean by there's several bad games where it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why you spent some time on those other games. Yeah, because these are shit. The Los Angeles Chargers play the Houston Texans. Chargers are 9.5-point favorites with an over-under of 46. With a lot of these games, the question is, is this giant line that they're afforded something that they'll cover? I think the Texans will cover this line. Because I actually don't think they're the worst team. I think it literally goes Jaguars, Jets, Texans, Lions, or Falcons, Lions. But literally, these are the worst teams in the league all on this page. And the Lions, I don't even know if they're one of those teams. Hard to tell. Here's a really good game that I have to put an asterisk on, and I'll explain right now. Bengals are favored by 2.5 points over the Ravens with an over/under of 44.5. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I like the Bengals in this game, especially because I don't know if Lamar is going to play. We'll know more probably as the week goes along if he's going to be available. With, I think it was like a slight sprained ankle or a bone bruise on the ankle. We're not sure if he's going to play. I'm guessing he's going to maybe be open to play. I have no idea, so that kind of complicates things. I know Huntley was very good against the Packers, but I don't know. Like, the last time these two teams played, the Bengals beat the hell out of them. I think like 41-17, to the point where they pulled Lamar at like in the middle of the game and put in Huntley, or the backup quarterback at that point. I don't know if it was Huntley then. I honestly don't remember. But I do know that the Bengals already beat them once this year in Baltimore with a much healthier Ravens team. So when I look at that, I'm like, all right, so it kind of feels like the Bengals, who are still kind of the same team, and the Ravens are a lot less healthy than even then. It kind of seems like it's wrapping up to be a Bengals win, especially without Lamar Jackson. It's kind of like, well, I'm pretty sure the Bengals will take advantage of this. They seem like a different kind of beast against their own division, minus against the Browns. But otherwise, they've swept the Steelers. They beat up on the Ravens really bad, and it looks like they are kind of aiming up to sweep the Ravens as well, especially at home. Very big must-win game. I'll take the first place Cincinnati Bengals over the not first place Baltimore Ravens. Hey, it pays to be the king, right? Long live the Bengals. All right, just 4 o'clock games here to go over. Who gives a shit game? The Bears play the Seahawks. Seahawks are 6.5 point favorites with an over-under of 43.5. I have the Seahawks winning because the Bears are a pretty bad team. Like, they're just, the Seahawks aren't much better. Like, they're both bad teams, but I like the Seahawks a little more because they have Russell Wilson, and he seems to be getting a little healthier. And they played okay against the Rams, whereas the Vikings kind of beat the shit out of the Bears. Here's a decent game that'll probably be a surprisingly closer game than what most people think it's going to be. In the Steelers playing the Kansas City Chiefs. There should be an asterisk here, but I don't really think I needed it because I ultimately think it doesn't matter too much that the Chiefs are missing a few players with the COVID stuff. But if they don't have Kelce and Hill, we'll revisit this game on Saturday. And if they don't have Kelce and Hill, I think the Steelers will win this game outright. But I'm going to guess that they're back because I believe they're both potentially able to play this weekend. So let's assume that they're able to play. But again, this game kind of probably should have an asterisk. I completely forgot about it. But here's my reasonings why I think Kansas City could still win as long as they have at least one of those guys. This game is going to probably be like a weird defensive game for who these two teams are. It's going to be like, wow, I didn't expect the Steelers and the Chiefs to be a defensive struggle because both of their offenses have felt rather limited this season. The Steelers, of course, because it has no choice to be limited. Whereas the Chiefs, it kind of just feels like they're in like this weird slumpy struggle for whatever reason. I'm sure it's offensive line oriented. They're just kind of, I don't know. They're just, a slump is a slump. It's fine. They're going through like some woes on offense, kind of just a lull in a probably very good, otherwise prosperous long career for Mahomes. But the struggles cannot be ignored. They're going up against the defense that will probably extenuate those struggles, really draw them out. They're going up against the team in the Steelers who don't make a ton of mistakes on offense. So their defense is going to have to play super, super level, which I think it will. It's been playing very well leading up and playing into this game. But again, it's kind of hard to make a final read on this one until I see like who's out for the Chiefs and for the Steelers because of the COVID outbreak stuff. So I guess we'll take a mully on this one. But I do think because of the fact the Steelers have had these struggles on offense and the Chiefs have had this like plus on defense, I think the Chiefs can overcome. I think on offense, we have to look at, like, we both know that these defenses are going to control this game. So we have to look at what offense do you trust to rise up and make something happen. Right now, I trust the Chiefs to rise up and make something happen. But if they don't have Hill and Kelce, I'm going to switch over to the Steelers. Did I include this on accident? Oh, no, I included this on purpose. All right, this is another caveat game that I don't know because I don't know if Teddy Bridgewater is going to be cleared to play with the concussion shit. So basically... if the Broncos have Teddy Bridgewater, they'll win. But if they don't, I'm going to take the Raiders. I think the Raiders will take advantage of the Drew Lock situation, probably have him turn the ball over a couple times. I think the Raiders, I don't know. I like their win last week. I think their defense showed that they're a little bit better than people think that they are at times, and that they can win on their defense. I think their offense needs to play a little bit better. If they play, kind of bad again like they did against the Browns, then the Broncos could win this. But without Bridgewater, I don't really think the Broncos stand a chance. So that's why I have the asterisk on it. Sunday Night Football, what do we got? Oh, yeah. The Dallas Cowboys are playing the Washington Football Team. The Cowboys are favored by 10.5 here, with an over-under of 47.5. I got the Cowboys winning. Should Washington have anybody but Garrett Gilbert, the game will be closer, and I'm assuming they'll have one of the guys back. So that's why I don't have an asterisk here. I'm assuming here. I don't know. At home, I don't really see Dallas losing this game. It's a big game for them. I don't know. Maybe an upset possible if Washington plays like out of their absolute minds, but I don't know. Based on what I've been seeing out of them lately and the way they could barely deal with the Eagles, their defense is super streaky. Kind of seems like it's getting a little tired right now after a hot streak. So give me the Cowboys in a pretty easy win, I would say. Monday night, what do we got? Oh, yeah. It was a surprisingly good game of 7 teams going at it. Two teams that are defensively oriented. Their offenses are, well, maybe they'll score kind of offenses where they're like they can move the ball down the field, but it just seems like they never result in a shitload of points. It's like, well, I mean, you got a lot of yards or a decent amount, and you're efficient, but it's just no points are coming out of it. So basically, you got two defenses here who are very, very good, very, very active defenses who are control game defenses, and you have a home team in the Saints. And you have a better coaching situation in New Orleans. That's basically the way I'm looking at this. It's like, yeah, I trust the Saints, the Dolphins quarterback situation much better than the Saints quarterback situation. But the Saints are a running first team. They are a run-oriented team that kind of moves the ball on the ground with Kamara, with Ingram, with Taysom Hill. They're going to be at home. They're going to have the crowd advantage. They have their defense that kind of feeds off that crowd advantage. So I like the Saints to win a very good, close game here. I don't have a ton of analysis because neither of these two teams have an offense that's really that good that can probably overwhelm one of these defenses. So it's basically what offense do I think can overwhelm the other team's defense, or at least get a good drive and score some points on. I would have to go Saints. I think Kamara can run a little bit. I think Ingram can run a little bit, and I think Taysom can work in something with Peyton and kind of get an offense going. Whereas, do I think the Dolphins will be able to score on offense? Maybe once. But I think the Saints defense is very, very good, especially at home. All right, there's my picks. Like I said, 137, 86, and 1. Let's hope we improve. We went 11-5 last week, so we're doing pretty good on a good little run lately anyway. So let's hope it continues and I don't just shit the bed and everything just goes wrong and very, very bad. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the videos, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you're new. Those things help to grow us tremendously, and we do a lot of content around here. What else? Make sure you leave your picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to those as soon as I can. I might be a little bit slower than usual, but I'll still be right on top of them for the most part. Leave your picks down below. Leave how your pick'em's gone this year. Leave your just general thoughts and all that stuff down below. Again, I'll be sure to comment very, very quickly back on all that. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And all the new subscribers this year, we hit our goal. Remember that. That's good. Thank you so much. And yeah. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all those people. If I don't see from you again, I don't know if there's another picks video. Yeah, this is the picks video before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to all those who celebrate. Happy holidays to those who don't. And then next week it'll be okay. So I don't have to do the New Year wish yet. But if you don't listen next week, then Happy New Year as well. So to those where it's the New Year. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Sorry about the longer video, but it is what it is. All right. Peace out. Have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whenever you listen to this. And all right. Good luck to your team this weekend. 16 games. Let's hope we have some good picks. Peace out. Have a good one. Bye-bye.